Donald Trump's controversial appointment of a new envoy specifically to Greenland has ignited a fresh and explosive diplomatic row with Denmark, straining transatlantic relations over sovereignty claims in the strategically vital Arctic region. Danish and Greenlandic leaders have directly told the US president in no uncertain terms that he simply cannot annex the sovereign land belonging to other nations, rejecting any notion of American territorial expansion outright. The prime ministers of both Denmark and Greenland issued a joint demand on December 22 for full respect of their established borders and territorial integrity, refusing to tolerate provocative encroachments on their autonomy. This surge of fury erupted immediately after Trump's newly appointed Greenland envoy publicly called for the mineral-rich territory to fall under direct US control, crossing a major red line for Copenhagen. On December 22, Trump formally appointed Jeff Landry as the US Special Envoy to the vast and resource-laden Arctic island, positioning him to advance American interests in the increasingly contested polar frontier. Landry enthusiastically declared it was a profound honor to serve in this volunteer position dedicated to making Greenland a permanent part of the United States, embracing the provocative mission without reservation. Trump has repeatedly called for the United States to outright annex Greenland, citing urgent national security reasons, while ominously not ruling out the potential use of military force to achieve strategic dominance there. Trump announced on Truth Social that Jeff will strongly advance our country's vital interests in the region, framing the appointment as essential for American geopolitical leverage. Mette Frederiksen and Jens Frederik Nielsen said, and I quote, "We have said it very clearly before. Now we say it again. National borders and the sovereignty of states are rooted in international law. You cannot annex other countries." Unquote. The US president claimed that Russian and Chinese naval ships have aggressively surrounded Greenland's waters, insisting Landry would lead the charge to counter this encirclement and secure US primacy.
Thank you, sir. You've named Governor Landry to be new special envoy to Greenland.
Yeah.
What do you see that role entailing, and is it still your intention that
Well,
Greenland
he called
become
me,
part
and
of the
you know,
US?
he viewed Louisiana, the Louisiana Purchase. He said, "I'm governor of Louisiana," and he said, "I would love." I didn't call him; he called me. He's very proactive. He's a great guy. He's a deal guy. He's a deal maker type guy. And we need it for national protection. We need Greenland for national protection. They have a very small population. And I don't know, they say Denmark, but Denmark has spent no money. They have no military protection. If they say that Denmark was there 300 years ago or something with a boat, well, we were there with boats too, I'm sure. So we'll have to work it all out. But he felt very strongly we need it for we need Greenland for national security, not for minerals. We have so many sites for minerals and oil and everything. We have more oil than any other country in the world. We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need it for national security. We have to have it. And he wanted to lead the charge. So we're making him, Marco, today, a special envoy to Greenland. Greenland's a big deal.
Landry serves as a former state attorney general who assumed office as Louisiana governor back in January 2024, bringing political heavyweight status to Trump's bold Arctic gambit. Amid the rapidly rising tensions and diplomatic fallout, Denmark's foreign minister announced he will formally summon the US envoy to Copenhagen for a tense confrontation over the sovereignty violation.
The integrity of the kingdom is up to the kingdom. I am standing here in the Faroe Islands, and as long as we have a kingdom, which consists of Denmark, the Faroe Islands, and Greenland, we cannot accept that anyone challenges our sovereignty. And therefore we will soon summon the U.S. ambassador to Denmark to a conversation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to go through two things. Firstly, to once again make it clear that there are some lines being crossed here, but of course also to get an explanation. We thought that we now had a U.S. ambassador in Denmark, with whom we would have a relationship throughout the kingdom. I think we have already developed a good working relationship, and it is also my impression that the ambassador has that opinion. Out of nowhere, there is now a special U.S. presidential representative who, according to himself, is tasked with taking over Greenland. This is, of course, completely unacceptable.
Amid the widespread outrage sweeping European capitals, the EU has firmly sided with Denmark and Greenland, prioritizing Arctic security and collective defense against unilateral power plays. EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen issued a stern call for unwavering respect of territorial integrity along with adherence to the fundamental principles of international law that govern global relations. According to a comprehensive January poll revealing public sentiment, Greenland's majority population clearly wants full independence from Denmark's oversight, seeking self-determination on their own terms. Greenland has possessed the legal right to declare complete independence ever since 2009 under its autonomous framework, but has repeatedly shown no wish whatsoever to become absorbed into the United States against its will. Greenland occupies a critically strategic position situated directly between the United States and Europe at a time of surging Chinese and Russian military activity throughout the resource-rich Arctic domain. The island also lies squarely on the shortest and most direct route for intercontinental ballistic missiles traveling between Russia and the United States, amplifying its immense geostrategic value exponentially. Several high-profile American politicians have made conspicuous trips to Greenland since Trump's election victory, signaling Washington's intensifying focus on the thawing polar prize. Donald Trump Jr. personally visited the capital city of Nuuk in January, while Vice President J.D. Vance toured a key U.S. military base there in March to assess operational readiness firsthand. Experts argue that this added aggression toward Venezuela clearly demonstrates Trump's broader plot to dominate and control the entire Western Hemisphere, extending his Monroe Doctrine ambitions northward. Remember, Trump attempted to outright buy Greenland during his first term in a stunning proposal that was swiftly and categorically rejected by Danish authorities as absurd and imperialistic. The escalating dispute over his envoy appointment unfolds precisely as strategic competition in the Arctic continues to grow more intense between major powers vying for influence. Melting polar ice has dramatically opened up new vital shipping routes while dramatically increasing access to incredibly valuable mineral resources buried beneath the receding frozen landscape.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.